in recognition of the film being certified fresh. Review aggregator site Rotten Tomatoes has given the smallest, most adorable award ever to Ant-Man and the Wasp, the sequel to 2015's Ant-Man team Paul Rudd, Scott Lang with Evangeline Lilly's Hope Van Dyne, and marked the first time ever a female Marvel character had her name in the title. The movie's director Peyton Reed recently said he'd like to see the Wasp return as the leader of an all-female team of Marvel superheroes. It's obviously been a huge year for the MCU, with Ant-Man and the Wasp joining Black Panther and Avengers: Infinity War to form a blockbuster trifecta. Rotten Tomatoes has been kind to the MCU in 2018. Black Panther briefly carried a rare 100% rating on the site before ultimately being knocked down to a still very strong 97%. Infinity War meanwhile stands at 83% on the site, but is actually stronger than that among non-critics with a 91% audience score. Related, Ant-Man and the Wasp was barely a box office success, though Ant-Man and the Wasp can't boast box office numbers as massive as Infinity War, which has made $2.046 billion worldwide to date. It can brag about having a better RT critics score at 88%. And in honor of its official fresh certification on Rotten Tomatoes, Ant-Man and the Wasp has been handed an appropriately tiny award. See the minuscule prize below with Pez for scale. Big Heroes. Tiny award. We gave the smallest hashtag certified fresh trophy ever to hashtag Ant-Man and the Wasp pic.twitter.com/YuffVMX5. With $465 million in worldwide grosses so far. Ant-Man and the Wasp may be a relative lightweight compared to its fellow 2018 MCU releases, but it still qualifies as a success for Disney as they continue their utter box office dominance. After the relatively somber tone of Infinity War, the light-hearted Ant-Man and the Wasp was seen as something of a palate cleanser for audiences. Of course, being part of the overall MCU continuity, the movie also served its purpose as a springboard into Avengers 4. Which will definitely involve Ant-Man in some capacity and will likely take place at least partly in the quantum realm where Scott Lang found himself stranded. Would Ant-Man and the Wasp have been an even bigger hit but for a small feeling of MCU fatigue in the wake of the universe-shattering Infinity War? It's hard to say. Critics surely embraced the movie, as reflected in its 88% RT score. In this instance, the movie's genuine standalone nature may have helped it with critics, as it wasn't forced to bear the burden of a lot of momentous plot development or complicated setup for future movies. Being an almost pure standalone, Ant-Man and the Wasp was able to tell its story in relative freedom, and arguably was a more purely entertaining movie as a result. Source: Rotten Tomatoes. Tags: Ant-Man 2 looking for an AD-free experience on Screen Rant.